To give each other an edge in the SUV arms race, manufacturers are now launching performance variants of their already powerful vehicles. As an example, consider the 2023 Lamborghini Urus lineup. Some people thought the 641 horsepower the Urus produced last year wasn't enough, so they raised the standard to 657 horsepower and named the new model Urus S. In addition to the Urus S, the Urus Performante with the same performance was also developed. Engine power. The same as the S, but significantly more durable thanks to a lighter construction and sportier suspension and tires. If it had been available at the time, I would have chosen the Urus S to compete with the Porsche Cayenne Turbo GT and Aston Martin DBX 707. S models share height-adjustable adaptive air springs and active anti-roll bars. Torque vectoring rear differential and rear wheel steering system. The Lambo is based on the same platform as the Cayenne, but has a 4.3-inch longer wheelbase, potentially rivaling the Porsche. The suspension geometry, 8-speed automatic transmission, and 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8 engine are the same as the Porsche, but power output has been increased to 657 horsepower. But its starting price of $233,995 puts it on par with Aston Martin, which lost out to Porsche due to Porsche's lower prices. Our sociable Viper Green Performante exists in a different dimension from our SS. In summary, instead of using height-adjustable air springs, coil springs are used. Performance-consistent sag means he is 0.8 inches lower than the normal height of the Urus S, corresponding to the lowest aerodynamic position the S achieves at high speeds, and completely ignoring ground clearance. Is showing. The Performante is missing 3 off-road modes called Anima Drive Selection, Ni for slippery performance, Terra for basic off-road, and Sabbia for sand. They have been replaced by rally racing and are now the most extreme form of driving, surpassing even Strada, Street, Sport and Corsa, Circuit. With an emphasis on performance, the chassis has been optimized for high-speed driving. The Corsa's driving style has plenty of bite thanks to stiff lowering springs, and the low ride height helps the car avoid hitting bump stops. A center differential positioned further back than in a regular Urus works with a retuned active anti-roll bar and torque vectoring rear differential to improve handling. Unlike the Porsche Turbo GT's Pirelli Corsas, which has a wear index of 80, its close competitor, the Pirelli P0 Trofeo R Performance Chew, has a wear index of 60. Although the Performante responds well to heavy throttle demands, it is not a complete destroyer. Although we evaluated the faster and more agile Cayenne Turbo GT, we will use that car as the basis for our analysis. Performante reduces sprints by 20 seconds to 100 miles per hour, 4/10 ths of a sprint to 130, 1/2/10 th of a sprint from 5 to 60, 30 to 50, 50 to 70. However, the performance 0 to 60 miles per hour time is 3.0 seconds, which is a tenth slower than the Cayenne, and both cars run 11.2 miles per hour in the quarter mile, although the performance peak speed is 2 miles per hour higher. Lined up in seconds. For what? Both cars have the same gear ratios, but Lambo's differential has a slightly looser gear set and his tires are 1 inch larger. As a result, the effective ratio is higher and the shift points are in different positions. The Porsche can only achieve 1.03 g per revolution around the skid pad, while the Performante can achieve 1.04 g while maintaining a modest rear stance. Even on mountain roads, this represents a serious danger. On the other hand, when you step on it, it turns eagerly and precisely, responding admirably to acceleration. We took him up his favorite steep, winding slopes and he didn't even flinch. The carbon ceramic brakes performed perfectly on repeated, hard descents, with only the occasional excited squeal. On the track, the 152-foot stopping distance from 110 miles per hour was only slightly better than the Porsche, but the 296-foot stopping distance from 160 miles per hour was much shorter than the Turbo GT's stopping distance, 16 feet. The performance tuning is probably more Corsa optimized than we would like, which helps make it smoother on the road. When driving aggressively on the bumpy mountain roads we know so well, the car feels less in control, and setting the shocks to the softest setting, which we naturally gravitate toward, has no effect. It seems that even solid rebound damping has no effect. Allow the suspension to breathe. This can be a big problem in urban areas where weather and large vehicles have a big impact on the roads. The active anti-roll bars don't seem to separate as much as the Cayenne in terms of preventing head tilt, as they feel restrained by the stiffer suspension. Here we are reminded that this is an SUV. That means wealthy families have expensive child seats installed somewhere in the back. Do you know whipped butter? Drinking a glass of milk has the following effects.